Okay, today we are turning my most popular recipe on cakesbymk.com, my soft vanilla cake, into a crowd-pleasing sheet cake that everyone is going to absolutely love. It's ultra soft and tender, super fluffy, and has great vanilla flavor. It's perfect for parties, birthdays, or when you just need something that's easy to feed a crowd. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 180°C or 350°F conventional, and lightly grease the bottom and sides of a 9 by 13 inch cake pan. And then you also want to line the pan long ways with some parchment paper. It's best to leave some of the parchment paper hanging over the sides. It just makes it so much easier to take the cake out once it's ready. Set your cake pan aside for now, and next we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. Now, I cannot stress how important it is to use the gram measurements for this recipe if you can. It's just going to give you more accurate quantities for the ingredients, and I feel like with a plain vanilla cake, you kind of just want to try and get it, as perfect as you can. So for my dry ingredients, I've got 300 grams or 2 1/3 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 25 grams or 1/4 cup of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. And then using a whisk, give that a good mix until it's well combined and set it aside for now. Next, in a large bowl, you want to add in 113 grams or half a cup of room temperature unsalted butter, 105 grams or half a cup of unflavoured vegetable oil, I use canola oil, and 332 grams or 1 2/3 cups of white granulated sugar. And then using either a hand or stand mixer on a medium speed, you want to cream that for 2 minutes until it's light and creamy. Next, you want to add in 3 large room temperature eggs one at a time while mixing on a low speed, making sure that each egg is mixed in well before adding in the next. It's super important to make sure that your eggs are at room temperature, otherwise they're not going to mix into the batter properly. Okay, now next you want to add in 1 1/4 tablespoons of vanilla. I know it seems like a lot of vanilla, but trust me, it's just going to add great vanilla flavor to our cake. 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. This is just going to give us a super velvety crumb, and 112 grams or half a cup of room temperature buttermilk. Now this recipe uses 337 grams or 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk in total, but for now we're only using half a cup. And then you just want to mix that in until it's well combined. Now you just want to get any of the batter off of your attachments, because the rest of the mixing we're going to be doing by hand with a spatula. So to finish off, you want to add in half of your pre-sifted dry ingredients from earlier into the batter, and using a spatula, gently fold that in until just combined. Then you want to add in the remaining 225 grams or 1 cup of room temperature buttermilk and fold that in until just combined. And then you want to add in the remaining dry ingredients and fold that in until just combined. It's super important not to overmix, so only mix until you can't see any more streaks of flour running through the batter and the batter is nice and uniform. Okay, so that is the batter all done now. You should have a beautiful smooth batter like this. And now you just want to pour this into our prepared cake pan from earlier. Now once that's done, you just want to level out the top as best you can and then drop the cake tin lightly on the counter once to remove any large air bubbles. And now this is going to go into our preheated oven for 28 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs on it. So my cake is all done now. It smells so good. You just want to let it cool in the cake tin for about 20 minutes, just to give it a little bit of time to firm up before running a thin knife along the edges that don't have any parchment paper, and then turning it out onto a wire rack to completely cool. Now the way that I like to do this is just place the wire rack on top of the cake tin, hold the wire rack and cake tin together, and then flip it over, and the cake should just pop right out. Now this cake is honestly so incredibly soft and moist, so you just want to be careful when handling it because you don't want it to break. Now while this cake is cooling, we're going to go ahead and make a small batch of my absolute favorite, silky smooth, not too sweet American buttercream. So to a medium bowl, add in 170 grams or 3/4 cup of a room temperature unsalted butter, 187 grams or 1 1/2 cups of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 60 grams or a quarter cup of room temperature heavy cream. And then using a hand or stand mixer, first mix on a low speed, just to allow everything to combine without everything going everywhere. And then turn up the speed to a medium high and whip for a full 10 minutes, scraping down the bowl halfway through. If you're using a stand mixer, then you want to do this with the paddle attachment. Now once you're almost done, if you notice the frosting looks a bit firm as opposed to fluffy and still has a slight yellow color to it, it means that one or more of your ingredients are too cold. So just warm up the frosting in the microwave ever so slightly, like 5-second bursts, mixing in between each burst until you can easily run a spatula through the frosting. Just make sure that you don't melt the frosting and then re-whip it, and this should make it nice and fluffy. Okay, so 10 minutes later, I have this beautiful silky smooth frosting, and that is it. My frosting is all done. It's honestly so easy to make. Now once the cake is completely cool, we can go ahead and frost our cake. So to assemble this cake, all you have to do is grab the serving plate that your cake is going to go on. Today I'm just using a tray. You want to place it on top of the cake and then hold the wire rack and tray together and flip the cake over. Now you just want to put all of that frosting on the top and smooth it out with an offset spatula, or a blunt knife or the back of a tablespoon should do the trick as well. Now you can totally pipe the frosting on for something a little bit more fancy and, go ahead and decorate the top if you like. But apart from that, that is my vanilla sheet cake all done. This vanilla sheet cake is honestly so soft and moist. It has the most tender, fluffy crumb, and that not too sweet American style buttercream just works so well with the cake. It is just hands down one of the best vanilla cakes I've had. It's honestly just got the most tender, fluffy texture, and it has great vanilla flavor as well. And you absolutely have to give this vanilla buttercream a go. It just goes so well with this cake, and it isn't overly sweet, which I love. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this beautiful vanilla sheet cake a go, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.